Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Kalen DeBoer, Alabama, landing another massive commitment in the 2025 class. This one coming from four-star edge rusher Justin Hill from the state of Ohio. And this sounded like it was, kind of all Ohio State until this morning, where Alabama kind of comes in late, picks up some momentum, and finishes off this recruiting battle victory where you look at Kalen DeBoer and say, this coaching staff just went into the state of Ohio, grabs one of the best edge rushers in the 2025 cycle, brings him down to Tuscaloosa. You talk about recruiting battle victories that give us a ton of confidence in terms of what Kalen DeBoer can do with this Alabama program. This is another one of those recruiting wins. And edge rusher and Justin Hill, if I were to kind of sell the Alabama fans on Justin Hill, it would start with an 11.6 in the 100-meter dash. You are looking at least in my mind, one of the twitchiest edge rushers that you're going to see in this 2025 cycle, and a guy that, quite frankly, probably plays that wolf position at a very high level for Alabama. So not only do I really like the player in Justin Hill, I really like the fit in the Alabama defense, which is really important. We talk about programs recruiting guys that fit what they want to do. I think Justin Hill kind of fits how Alabama wants to play on the defensive side of football, and really do like that and kind of fit at that wolf position. I'm going to get into the film of Justin Hill, talk about what this means for Alabama, what he brings to this Alabama defense. Before we do, and as always, just want to say thank you to you guys. And it has been busy for Alabama in the last couple of weeks. I've had a blast breaking down the commitments. I can't thank you guys enough for rocking with it. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. And without further ado, let's get into Justin Hill and let's talk about how he wins first. And I think that is with his get off and his flexibility. It's really hard to find an edge rusher in this 2025 class that has the juice that Justin Hill does. I mean, an elite get off of the line of scrimmage. He's a guy that is extremely flexible when running that arc on offensive linemen. And I think at the end of the day, it's just really hard to find offensive linemen who are going to be able to deal with what Justin Hill can do athletically as a pass rusher. Now, for Justin Hill, another thing you like is the versatility. And this is a premier athlete. This is a guy that, yes, he's probably best at getting after the passer. That being said, he is 6'3", 220, runs an 11.6 in the 100-meter dash. He's a guy that you can drop into a shallow zone and have him operate in space. And we kind of know that Alabama wants to get creative with that wolf position, give a lot of teams some different looks and do a lot of different things at that position. You have to be versatile. You have to be able to do a lot of different things. I think Justin Hill can kind of give that versatility to that wolf position. I think the last thing you want to note is probably want to see him continue to add some weight to that frame. Now, he's 6'3". He's got really long arms. There is no doubt in my mind you can get him up to around 235, 240 pounds. I think that's probably the ideal weight for Justin Hill. If you put some weight on this kid and he maintains the juice he has off the line of scrimmage, the closing speed that he has, you're looking at some big-time upside as a pass rusher for this Alabama program. Without further ado, let's get into the film. I think it just starts with this kid's get off, and he's got some power in his hands too. I mean, you start taking a look and firing up this film. One, I think the closing speed is one of the things that is most impressive to me. His ability to close the gap between himself and the quarterback, and that's something that we are increasingly talking about, having edge rushers that can function in space, because you look at kind of where a lot of college football quarterbacks are going. You're looking at really good athletes that can extend plays. How do you kind of deal with that as a defense? Have edge rushers that can go hawk down some of these quarterbacks. I think Justin Hill is one of those guys because, again, the closing speed that he has, it's next level. And you see, I think this is kind of his best type of reps. Like, there's just not many offensive tackles that can deal with how well Justin Hill runs that arc and attacks the outside shoulder. And you look at this and I say, one, he's just winning on the outside. Two, closing speed. He is one of kind of just a Ferrari kind of pass rusher, right? You have guys that are a little bit more Mack trucks, are going to go right through opposing offensive linemen. Justin Hill is just this juiced up edge rusher that just kind of flies around the football field. And again, his ability to close the distance between himself and the quarterback. You seen him play a little off-ball linebacker. He does have that on his film. Again, I think the ceiling is too high to not play him at that edge rusher spot. This is where he excels. Like, again, we're talking about where can Justin Hill have the biggest impact on this Alabama. I mean, he's got a wide variety of moves. And again, when you have the ability to beat offensive tackles on that outside shoulder, it starts getting a lot of space in here for where you can win inside. Here's a little swim move, close the distance on the quarterback, go and get him. He had this left tackle in this game. God bless his soul, had him in a blender all game. I mean, this poor 78 on this offense was, I just kind of couldn't really deal with the physicality and the twitch that Justin Hill kind of combines his pass rush game with. There is some big time upside to Justin Hill's game. And I think for Alabama, you are fired up to see. We talk about the twitch. You talk about him winning with twitch and kind of speed. He's a guy that can put tackles right in the lap of quarterbacks too. I mean, he has some devastating hands. Again, as he continues to put on some weight and fill out that frame, I think that's when you see the peak of Justin Hill getting into this Alabama class in 2025. A couple things you want to note. One, kind of similar prospects between Justin Hill and Dawson Merritt, which, again, you can never have too many of these kind of guys. I'm kind of interested to see how it shakes out. Dawson Merritt, does he just kind of play that off-ball linebacker role? Does he play that wolf position? I think Justin Hill is a little bit more well-suited for that wolf position. I really do like Dawson Merritt's off-ball linebacker film, his ability to operate in space. But you take a look at some of these front seven defenders and the pure athleticism that Alabama's collecting. Darryl Johnson, Dawson Merritt, two of the most athletic off-ball linebackers you're going to see in 2025. You add a guy like Justin Hill, who is just a souped-up edge rusher coming off the edge, and you continue to scroll down and say a lot of just really good front seven defenders for Alabama. We know they've done a really good job on the offensive line. Could get better with a guy like Ty Haywood. If you're Alabama, you're fired up. This is another massive commitment coming in late, getting this one done. We'll close it there. Appreciate you guys rocking with it. Again, if y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll talk to y'all later. Peace.